And we are coming down in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Getting Sports with Drunk. I'm your hostess, Cupcake the Riddler, and I'm joined by
Mark.
Sheen Washable.
Yep.
The Mass Chris Massey.
And the Rat of a Red Baron. Meow.
Boom. Crash.
A very uninspired flight from myself.
Yeah. Not
Welcome
much.
Welcome to a messed up episode of GSWD.
Yeah, doing
Yeah, kind of on the fly here.
That's all right. These are more fun, anyways.
Yeah, doing a little bit different. Had to call an audible.
Yep.
And as such, we were missing. What was the really funny name we came up with him? Like 3 weeks ago. Does anybody remember?
Jeez,
It was something stuff.
It wasn't double stuffed souls, was it?
No.
That's
Good.
I do recall the stuffed part, but I don't remember what it was.
Oh, do you remember?
Stuffed waffle souls.
Ah, there it is.
That's what it was. We are absent stuffed waffle souls. And yeah. You guys want to talk about the Julio trade heating up? Sounds like they might actually get a first pick for him.
Julio for Aaron Rodgers, make it happen.
Listen, I mean, I know the show we talked about it is lost, but the Packers should have already made this trade, like 3 weeks ago.
What, Julio for Rodgers?
No, just the first round for Julio and try and make Rodgers smile. Like, they should have already
can't
made
do
the
that.
call.
You can't do that because then how are they going to draft the quarterback next year if they don't have a first round pick?
They have a formula. Don't you realize that?
It's true.
Does anyone else have a starting lineup besides me?
I don't know if I'm going to get to it due to some outside forces, but I do have a granola brown from our friends at Black Hog.
Well, when the chips are down and you lost 2 shows in 2 weeks, it's time to go for the hard stuff. And from the Riddler collection, the Highland Park 12 Viking Honor. It's gonna pop the seal on this bad boy. Make that 4 fingers.
Oh, you haven't had that yet?
Nope.
Make that 4 fingers. Like, we ain't going soft.
Yes.
I say I am not having a beverage this evening.
Glass of water, perhaps?
Oh, I
I
know.
mean, I have a bottle of water here, but
Hey, that's just as good.
yep.
I don't even have a bottle of water near me, which is very odd for me because I usually carry one at all times. Usually in my back pocket.
Right next to the back scratcher
Exactly.
and the slice of bologna.
And the HDMI.
Massey also carries a sprinkle of MSG everywhere he goes.
You joke, but that's serious.
Just a couple of spare bologna slices.
What are you going to do when you're in the need for a munch on the go?
Some good stuff right
Exactly. So, we want to talk about Russell Westbrook getting popcorn dumped on him and Trae Young getting spit on.
Trae Young deserved it. Westbrook didn't.
I've
Why
enjoyed.
did Trae Young deserve it?
Go ahead, Bass.
Paul, why did Trae Young deserve it?
Because he's gross looking.
So, speaking of gross looking, did you guys hear the chant that they were doing?
Yeah, you are bald. Trae is balding.
Trae is balding.
That's pretty funny.
It was hysterical. It was through the entire freaking stadium.
That guy also makes way more money than like the whole stadium.
Spike Lee was really behind that chant.
Like they were handing out pamphlets at the entrance to the game to say, "This is our chant tonight. This is what we're going to sing." Which is just a different level of commitment. I'm really proud of the Knicks for that. Well, the Knicks fans at least.
So does anyone else think the Knicks are going to be really bad next year?
The what?
That the Knicks will just be real bad again next year?
No, I think that they're looking upwards.
I mean, this was for sure a surprise. I think there was expectations of them being better. There's a lot of veteran presence, but I don't know. This could just be like a one-time thing, like Massey, you're saying. It's a tough read. I just don't know.
That's by Rita.
What? Sorry, I missed. What'd you say?
I said special guest appearance by Rita in the background. Yeah. I'm in forever. Sorry, continue on as you're saying, Kendall.
Just that, and Paul could speak on it better than I, just that it doesn't seem like they have a formula like to build on for next year. It seems like, hey, they slapped together a team for this year that just happened to make the playoffs. I don't know.
Who are we talking about?
The Knicks.
What are you talking about?
So it kind of, Mark was saying, do you think the Knicks are just going to be bad next year?
No. I mean, what, Matt, Siri computer?
Yeah.
What's Julius Randle's contract?
Give me 30 seconds. Talk about it as you're going.
Julius Randle is powered by mini wheats.
3-year contract in 2019, so 2021 after next year.
Okay, so he's the most improved player in the league this year. Regardless of even if he didn't win the award, he still should have been given that title. I don't know what Derrick Rose's contract is like, but they have the young pieces. RJ Barrett is a big part of that team. I think that they definitely benefited from a little bit. The Bucks did not play up to expectations this year. Granted, they are a 4 seed?
I believe.
Yeah.
No, the Knicks were the 4 seed. The Bucks are the 3 seed, I think.
Yes, it's 4 or 5, Atlanta and New York.
Yeah, so the Bucks are the 3 seed. So Atlanta really turned things around, but the Wizards didn't play as up to the standards that people kind of thought. They made it exciting at the end, but the Wizards should have never been playing in a play-in game when you have that backcourt. The Pacers really fell off after all the Oladipo stuff and everything like that, which in hindsight, it's a different conversation, but the Oladipo thing was probably the best case for him, considering that Oladipo is not going to play probably next year at all. The East was just, the East is always generally weak, but the powerhouse teams were really the power. It was Brooklyn, Milwaukee, and Philly, and that was it. So, next year I imagine that certain teams will do better, but the Raptors to me are only going to get worse, because I can't foresee Kyle Lowry being there. The Hawks, I don't really know what to make of what their offseason is going to look like. But the Bulls, right now there's speculation that the Bulls might be trading Levine to the Miami Heat. It's all talk right now, but who knows? They could get a haul in return for him. So it's open. The Knicks are probably going to be a playoff team, top 6 next year. Whether they are actually that good, or is it more of a product of how bad the other teams are, I don't know. But I think they'll be there. Charlotte is probably going to be knocking some boots next year too. They'll probably be a play-in team caliber again, but you got to figure LaMelo Ball missed a third of the year. Gordon Hayward missed a third of the year. They probably would have rolled themselves into a 6 seed. So it's interesting. It's interesting. But for all the people out there that casually watch basketball and look at the LeBron James and the Steph Currys and the Joel Embiids and all those types of players, and it's definitely great to have that superstar, all-star type of guy, but it really just goes to show you how important coaching is. Because look at halfway through the season, look at where the Atlanta Hawks were, and look where they are now.
Coaching matters.
Coaching is a big. That's why granted that looks, they're looking right now like they might get swept by the Brooklyn Nets, but look at the Celtics. The part of the reason the Celtics have been so, good and are so scary is they have Jason Tatum, which helps, but they also have arguably the best head coach in basketball. What's really hurting them this year is not having a healthy roster and not having Jaylen Brown in the playoffs is really hurting them.
Trying to get Tatum to carry literally the entire team when he's not that player.
Well, he is that player. It's just being that, he's that player, but it's just it takes time to be that player in the playoffs. He's ready for it. He has the skill set to do it, and I think he has the maturity to do it too. But it's one thing to do it. It's another thing to do it against Kyrie, James Harden, Kevin Durant, DeAndre Jordan, Blake Griffin, Steve Nash as a head coach.
Has Stevens missed the playoffs yet?
Who?
Stevens.
Brad Stevens?
Who the hell is Steve?
I don't think the Sixers or the Celtics.
I thought you were calling Steve Nash Stevens for some reason.
Yeah, Stevens Nash. Yeah, I'm not sure even how long he's been there now. Has it been 4 seasons?
Who?
Brad Stevens.
Brad Stevens has been there. It's a good question, actually. I don't know. Oh.
And then there were 2 Massies.
2 Massies. It's a good question, actually.
What was the good question?
Brad Stevens is 44.
Is he really?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you did.
I think he's 19.
All right, I admit it. I did know.
He has been the head coach. He's missed the playoffs. He missed the playoffs his first year as a head coach.
Which I guess is fair.
He went 25 and 57.
Ooh.
Then he lost in the first round, lost in the first round, lost in the conference finals, lost in the conference finals, lost in the semis, lost in the conference finals. So he's 37 and 36 career postseason record.
How long has he been coaching the Celtics?
Since 2013-14.
Okay.
Which is actually way longer than I thought. Just the time is blending together. I can't remember anything anymore.
What's crazy, though, is that he's only won... I mean, not that this really means anything, but he's only been first in his division once.
Remind me who else is in his division?
The Raptors.
That's why.
The Raptors last year was the Sixers, probably.
Cleveland?
No, Cleveland's in the Central.
The Nets.
It's Toronto. It's Toronto, New York, Philly, Boston,
Brooklyn.
And Brooklyn. Yep.
Gotcha.
Brooklyn.
I was just thinking that.
Well, yeah. Well, what else would you be thinking?
I don't know.
Hey, so I put on just kind of like a side quip. I put on some hip hop today in the car, some like older hip hop, and then like one of the recommended songs that popped up was like Chad Gable's like original WWE intro song.
Nice.
Yeah, it was real weird. So it's interesting. It's interesting. The playoffs have been pretty good. I mean, there's been some blowouts, but they've been entertaining in their own right.
But for the most part, it's been pretty close games.
There's been a few blowouts. The Lakers blew out the Suns the other night.
Yes.
The
And
Trailblazers got blown out.
the Heat got blown out game 2.
Yeah. But I mean, overall, it's been a lot of good first round matchups. It's been very exciting. You know, it's very fitting that you have, you know, this like the Nets have to kind of prove themselves early by taking down like what's been an Eastern Conference powerhouse for 5 years in the Celtics. It's, you know, it's fitting that you have the New York Knicks, this like probably the most exciting story in basketball, going up against this first-time playoff-led team by Trae Young. That's all young and hungry.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got the Heat and the Bucks, which is a very enticing matchup. You know, a very defensive-minded team versus a very offensive-minded team, and then the Sixers and the Wizards. You know, the Wizards are kind of like that underdog team, but you know, is it enough? And the answer is no. You know, they're down 2-0. It's going to be, you know, it's going to be very hard to win 4-2 against the Sixers, but you know, it makes it interesting.
Yeah. Do you guys think that the way they did it this year, and I guess last year too, if I'm not remembering, but having the play-in game, do you think it's better for basketball, for fans, for the league, for the sport in general, having it that way? Does it make it more entertaining, or is it?
I enjoyed it purely because the games were good. I don't know if that has an impact on it, but they weren't boring games. They were really close games down to the wire.
It's weird. Like, I almost think that the way that they should do it is because kind of like the way that it's weird. Like the way they're doing it is kind of like the 7 and 8 seed are basically like the wild card home teams, like in baseball. But like I think the concept, I think how it should go is I think the 7 seed should play. I think the 7th seed should play the 10th seed if they're going to do it, and the 8th seed should play the 9th seed, and the 2 winners are just in the playoffs, and then they just reseed accordingly. So like if 10 beats 7, but 8 beats 9, then the 8th seed now becomes the 7th seed, and the 10th seed becomes 8. And because the problem with it is that it just adds it's another week of playoffs, which are already so long. The NBA playoffs last a fucking month and a half as it is, and now you just added a week of you know what? It's 6 total playing games, right? Because 7 and 8, and then 9 and 10, and then you do that again in the West, and then the loser of 7-8 plays the winner of 9-10. So there's 3 games in the East and 3 games. Like it's too many games, you know. And then why, like, the winner of the 9-10 game, they won the game, and now they have to do it again. Like if they need to prove, if the 9 seed needs to prove that much that they're that much better than the 8 seed, why even have them be part of it? Just give it to the fucking 8 seed.
It's like, all right, you guys did good, but can you do it one more time?
Right. It's, you know, like, you know, it's like the wild card thing. Like in baseball, the wild card thing is it's unique from the standpoint of like, and I think that you know, like basketball should kind of do this too, because in football it's always one and done. You know, in basketball you don't really play series, but you do play the same teams a lot, and your playoffs are series. So the one and done aspect is so cool. That's what I think is so exciting about the MLB playoffs the way they are versus like the bigger formatted playoffs are interesting. We saw them last year, more people watching the playoffs. They're not doing that this year. But like that's kind of one of the things that's always been exciting about the standard playoff series for baseball, in my opinion, is that your whole season is 2, 3, 4 game series against the same opponent to get to the playoffs to play 5 game series, 7 game series, 7 game series. But like if you're good but not good enough, like it all rides on one game.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because I mean, you know, we see wild card teams make an impact sometimes, and it's just an interesting concept from my standpoint because it's the wild card team, like, you know, it's everything.
Yeah, no, it's the team that didn't win its division, and it's kind of they've been good, but obviously it's a team usually too that it's won probably in the low 90s, high 80s.
Well, it's like it's one of those things where it's like there's other than like the brink of elimination in the playoffs for MLB, it's the play-in game is the only game of the year that has the stakes it has. You know what I mean? Like it's they say like the winning and losing in May doesn't dictate how you finish out the year, doesn't make or break your playoffs type of thing. But at the same time, there's been plenty of teams that have gone on skids in September that made the playoffs because of how many games they won in May and April and June. Yeah. So it's kind of interesting, like it's all or nothing. And I think that's kind of where the NBA should go from it. If they're going to stick to the play-in game, it should be 7, 10, 8 versus 9, and win and in. That's it. Don't make this a kind of like bullshit tournament.
A tournament within a tournament.
Right. And honestly, in my opinion, it's a bunch of unneeded rest for these players. In a time where players are already getting fucking sat for no reason and all that stuff. Now you're giving them an extra week off, and it's like the conspiracy theory in me wants to just be like, oh, it's just so that we can see fresh legs LeBron in round one. You know what I mean? And those types of things. It's, because I mean, I don't care what anybody says. It's the NBA, the NFL is a little bit different, but I do think, I think the league, it's not, I don't think it's a secret to anybody that like the league definitely seems like it caters to the Rodgers and the Mahomes and the Bradys. You know what I mean?
No.
But basketball is even more like that. Whereas like baseball and hockey are not like that pretty much at all. Baseball, like they treat it like ESPN and MLB TV are going to air athletics games with no superstar real players on their team because they're always, fighting for games. They're winning 10 games in a row every year. They're always fighting for the playoffs over airing the best player in baseball and Mike Trout because he plays for the shitty fucking Angels.
Right. I mean, baseball.
Speaking of which, I had a toast kind of. Ohtani was supposed to get the start tonight, but he didn't get it because he got stuck in traffic in LA.
That's awesome.
That's pretty funny.
And you know what the best part about it is? There's no way he was driving himself.
Imagine he made like the driver or he himself like, oh, I'm just gonna go to the drive-thru real quick. It's not gonna be a big deal. Probably won't lose any time on this. Screws up his order.
Yeah. You might pull him up and we'll be right out.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, the fries aren't ready yet.
They're just like you and I. There was something I saw the other day that I'm trying to remember what it was that I really wanted to talk about. And it wasn't the Westbrook and Trae Young thing. Although I did kind of want to talk about that, but
so let's talk about it.
I feel like basketball is the only sport where shit like that happens. Although I guess I have seen that happen in the NFL, the Jaguars Seahawks game a couple of years ago.
Let's say like Eagles fans threw snowballs at Santa.
Yeah.
That's true. But
Philadelphia is the worst place in the world.
Conversations like this. Philadelphia
is the asshole located in the armpit of New Jersey.
Exactly. It's literally the worst place on earth.
And we've been there so many times.
Yeah, but the last time was like the first time we really ventured into Philly, and I'm pretty cool never doing it again.
Yeah. Pretty great with that. Go down and see the game, because guess what, Philly? Your city fucking sucks.
I know a couple.
Like, is it bad that I'd feel safer walking around Chicago?
I do know a couple.
Like, it's like weird. Like, I feel like if I walked around Chicago, like, yeah, I might get stabbed or shot, and like I'll die. But like in Philly, like I'm gonna get like punched in the face and get my wallet stolen. Like it's gonna be an ordeal. I'm gonna have to cancel credit cards. Like I probably have to go get stitches. Like I don't want to do any of that shit. Like if you're gonna attack me and like steal everything I have, like just kill me. In Chicago, that's what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Welcome to Philly, asshole.
That was a really good invitation, Kendall.
Yeah, I don't know what I was trying to go for there.
I thought it
a little
was
like Boston, New York.
Here's a coupon to Campos.
I thought it was very funny that Giannis got wasted one of his free throws for going over the 10 seconds you're given, and now he has to have a clock showing him how much time he has left.
That's just like it's across all sports stuff like come on, like how do you let that happen?
So you only get 10
Go ahead, Mark.
You only get 10 seconds to shoot a free throw?
Paul, when does that timer start?
I think it's from the minute the referee bounces the ball to you, it starts. But I think it's is it 10 seconds?
That's what everything's been saying. I don't know for sure, but that's what I've been reading.
I always thought it was 12, but either way, it doesn't matter. But yeah, from once the ref bounces the ball to you, that's when it starts. Once the ball touches your hands after the ref gives it to you. And
Giannis literally stood there just bouncing the ball, and one of the Heat's coaches is flipping out on the background like, fucking call it! So they called it. And it was very funny.
Pretty funny.
Man, I tell you what, it's so great seeing fans back at games again. I know we talked about it briefly in the beginning with the Trae Young chant, but it makes such a difference in these games having the crowd there.
I think a lot
Although
of
with the popcorn and the spinning, I'm showing that we don't deserve to be there, but...
Well, the best part about that popcorn is I love all the, like, not only do you see it, it's like now, like, ESPN and all these other sports radio broadcasts, they're showing it from, like, different angles. Like, well, yeah. if the popcorn was spilled like this or he threw it like this, it's like, like, come on.
It's certainly interesting.
I tell you, that ankle didn't look too hurt when he was going after the guy.
Yeah. I mean, he was kind of just walking slowly, and all of a sudden he's like, you did what? And was running full speed. So,
and we were talking about that on Monday, how basketball is the only sport that kind of lends itself that there could be a real interaction because of the crowd.
Close.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I mean, you're close in baseball too. Like if you're right on the wall, but it's just so different.
It is. It's a much. We saw it in the finals a couple of years ago. One of the part owners of the Warriors was sitting courtside and shoved Kyle Lowry, and they got into an argument. You ended up losing his stake in the ownership and his ticket, but you'll never see anybody shoving an athlete in one of the other professional sports.
Because, like, you can't.
Hey, Kyle
right,
got a
separation.
Kyle got a letter about asking to donate to Albertus Magnus, and I know his debit card. Should I donate some money?
That'd be so fun.
They've done so much for him. I mean, they gave him the chance to pitch his heart out.
Oh, should I donate $100 and then do it like in honor of all the Grizzly tins I had in my room? In honor of Jeff's free room and board, free life. Or in honor of destroying a public bathroom.
Sorry, I shit in the bed.
Twice. All right, I'll be right back. You guys keep going.
I'm trying to find if anything interesting happened in the NFL, but it doesn't look like it did. I mean, Mock, do you want to give your toast? Or do you want to save it until next week?
I didn't have one.
Yes, you did. You called dibs on it.
Oh, yeah. I don't remember what it was.
Can I do it then? All right.
Oh, go
ahead. Vinatieri retiring.
Yep, that happened today on the 27th. And that's the last player on all major sports that was a survivor from the 90s. I think. I thought I was reading that today.
What year was he drafted?
99.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He played 20. How many seasons would that be? 24.
24. There are 2 players still standing from the 90s. Well, no, he's not still standing. And neither is he. What the hell? Zdeno
This is an
Chara.
article from 2014.
Zdeno Chara, right? He's still there.
Yeah, he's still playing.
Yeah.
Joe Thornton, I believe, is still in the playoffs right now. And
He's been on that long. Holy shit!
what?
I didn't realize he's been playing that long.
Joe Thornton or Zdeno Chara?
Yeah. No, I knew Charles, but I didn't know Thornton was that old.
Let's see. Chara was drafted in. Let's see.
The person that would set him over. The person
It hasn't been
Zdeno
like
Chara. 1996.
Holy shit!
Yep.
Oh, that's amazing.
So he's been playing for 22 years. So Vinatieri was actually drafted in 96. Nope. 95.
Yeah, actually, that's right. 95. Because he was on that Patriots Super Bowl team that lost to the Packers.
Was he?
Yeah.
Was he really?
Isn't that crazy?
Wow. If you want to get technical, he was drafted to the Admirals, which I think is NFL Europe, I want to say.
I think so.
But
or
was.
Or if U.S.
Whatever.
Football League was in existence still at the time.
I still can't believe he was actually in that game. That's shocking to me.
Did you ever see pictures of those? I don't know. I guess we would call it only the '90s Patriots uniforms. The dark blue with the
with the head and
Yeah.
all the fun shit. Yeah,
very ugly uniform. And I'm not just saying that as a Patriot hater. Just in general, it's a bad uniform.
Kendall, you like the Patriots? We all know
I
it.
do not.
It's not a secret anymore, buddy. You can admit it.
I think the only Patriots jersey I would potentially get would be Doug Flutie. That'd be the only.
You wouldn't get him in a Terry jersey?
No, I don't care about him.
Man, how could you not like Vinatieri?
I mean, he's fine, but I mean, I don't know. It's like he did his thing. He was really good at it, and it's over now.
I mean, Kendall, he's the all-time points leader.
Yeah, and they'll probably stand for a very long time, if not never broken. I don't know. I mean, who would be next in line?
Justin Tucker.
Yeah, I was going to say, depending how long he plays, because he's kind of automatic.
Let's see. NFL all-time point list.
It's got to be Vinatieri.
Let's see. Let me keep going until I find a player who's active. I'm already at 10. 11. Okay. So the only other player that's active currently is at number 11. Steven Goszkowski, and he is almost 1,000 points behind.
So wait, he's ahead of Justin Tucker?
Yeah.
By how much?
Just not even top all 20.
I can't believe that.
Neither can I.
Because Goszkowski was the kicker directly after Vinatieri.
Vinatieri.
Yeah.
And he played there up until recently.
Yeah.
No, I guess
He played there up until 2 years ago, I want to say.
I mean, I guess that makes sense. All the playoffs that they were in with him there. So.
Keep in mind, I mean, the Ravens had a couple of bad years.
That's true.
Yeah. Dumb question: is Phil Dawson still active?
I don't think so.
He was old as fuck for a while.
Yeah, I don't know.
Then the other active kickers you have are Robbie Gould at 15 and Mason Crosby at 20.
Yeah, Crosby's been around a while.
Yeah, Crosby is old enough to have shown up in those fantasy football commercials for ESPN like 20 years ago. Fucking love that commercial. Just fucking rings the bell 3 times.
They should bring that back.
I like the ones. Do you remember when the players would do the commercials like, "Hey, this is why you should draft me"? Who was the guy that punched?
There was a Chris Cooley one, which is probably my favorite. There was a wide receiver for the Chargers.
So the Mark, you kind of got cut off. What were you saying there?
Who was the one that he punched the hole through the wall?
Chris Cooley.
Chris Cooley, yeah. Just through the drywall.
Yeah.
Put it right here.
I think Mark Bulger was on one of those.
There was.
Who was the running back for the Patriots back then?
I mean, they went through a bunch. I mean, there was Lawrence Maroney, Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis.
Green Ellis played for the Patriots?
Pretty sure.
Huh.
I don't know. Without
Let's see. Fantasy Files players. Let's see if that shows up.
Say, there's something for when Paul comes back that was kind of big that happened yesterday.
What was that?
Wayne Gretzky leaving the Oilers and signing with TNT as an announcer.
Oh, it's interesting.
Did he officially sign on to TNT, or is that the just quote unquote rumor?
No, he signed yesterday. I think it was.
Okay. All right, here I got the fantasy file. All right, so there's Chris Cooley. Tight end for the Giants. Who am I thinking of?
Jeremy Shockey.
Yep, Shockey. Who's this?
I almost bought a Tebow jersey today.
You should have. Darren Sproles.
Actually, Massey, that Giants one, wasn't that Kevin Boss?
Let's find out.
It'd be hilarious if it was Kevin Boss.
I just kind of. It is Kevin Boss.
Yeah, I remember that commercial.
Antonio Holmes.
That guy had one good year.
I know.
Let's see who else we got.
Andre Johnson was one.
Yes, Andre Johnson was one. That's a good one. Braylon Edwards.
Oh man, he was supposed to be so good.
Lawrence Maroney. That's who I was thinking of, Kendall.
Greg Lloyd.
Just so you know, man, I just beat the Rams 48-13.
Oh, that's really mean. Lawrence Maroney, Kendall.
Yeah. Patrick Mahomes.
There's Mason Crosby. Chris Chambers. That's the wide receiver I was thinking of.
For the Chargers.
Yep. Mark Bulger. Who is this? It's one of the kickers.
I'm trying to think of long-time kickers.
Matt Bryant.
Yeah. Daddy, I'm going to go kick this field goal.
His name doesn't even show up. That's very funny. Didn't even give him a name. Marcus Colston.
Saints
who is one of the most underrated players of all time. Jason Campbell.
Oh, God.
Who's this? Mike Nugent.
Oh, he's a kicker.
Oh, he was around for a while.
It was when he was with the Jets.
Didn't even know he was a Jet.
MJD fucking jumps out of the sand.
Oh yeah, I remember that. So ridiculous.
Fucking Miller Genuine Draft.
Yeah. In that commercial, he's like buried up to his neck in the sand, and like he jumps out of it.
Jumps out. Yep, it's hysterical. Here's a really bad one. Chris Sims.
Ew.
Yeah, that's the list.
I can tell you that nobody drafted Chris Sims for their fantasy team.
And nobody should.
We were just discussing the all those old fantasy football commercials.
Like Chris Cooley putting his hand through the wall and MJD being buried.
Those are all real.
I don't care what anybody says.
Especially the Lawrence Maroney one where he dove through broke windows of the SUV.
They should bring that back.
I mean, some of those are real. Like, who was the Chargers receiver?
Chris Chambers.
Yeah, like that one was probably real, where he caught a football in each hand, one-handed, or like the one with was it Calvin John? Or not Calvin Johnson. Was it Chad Johnson? The one where he like shot the football in like the ski shooter type of thing, and then ran and caught it. Like he had the thing angled up so high.
No, that was Andre Johnson.
He's like a world class. Oh man, I just turned on the fucking TV and Joe Buck's face was on it. Gross. And not even the Joe Buck slouch.
So a quick dishonorable mention. The Heat are currently down by more than 30 points.
Yeah, they're done. Hey, Mark, did you do that toast, or are you saving it for like the Monday show?
We did that already.
We just did it.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. Because I wanted to share this fact. We're talking about the place kicker, correct?
Yes, Vinatieri.
Mass, that was fucking Mock's toast, you bitch.
I asked him first.
So I found this thing. I thought it was super interesting. The NFL Fun Facts page that I follow, fact 2,731. There were 5,730 players to start playing and stop playing. Start playing after and stop playing before Adam Vinatieri.
All right, I'm actually going to change one of the brackets I have because that's even more fun.
So just to put that into retrospect, that's 108 53-man rosters.
Is he the longest playing player of all time?
I mean, for football, I'd have to imagine, yeah.
Let's see.
The only guy that might have him beat is George Blanda.
Oh, fuck. Forgot about Blanda. Yeah,
That guy
Blanda still has
played
it.
for a billion years.
Does it have to be playing?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So I'm using like Bart Starr and George Halas were around for like, ever.
George Blanda played for 26 seasons.
Jesus. Well, wait.
So Vinatieri missed it by 2 years.
That's some shit. Yeah, but you know what? How many titles did George Blanda win?
None, I think.
Maybe one.
What's Vinatieri got? He's got
4, right?
He's got
3 with the
3 with the
Pats and 1 with the
Patriots
Colts.
and 1 with Colts.
Yep.
Yeah. Peyton only won 1 as a Colt, right?
Right.
Yeah, he went
Yes.
1 and 1.
Yep.
He's 2 and 2 all
George
time.
Blanda has 3 titles.
2 and 2 all time.
2 and 2 all time.
I mean, titles that were the titles back then. He has 3 champions.
Hey, Matt, you know what would be somewhat of a kind of like a somewhat interesting bracket concept? Just while
What's
we're on the, because this is kind of like a bullshit no holds barred podcast. It'd be interesting if you could formulate a bracket where like a 16 or 32 whatever seeded bracket, where you started off with like one being like it's got to have like, you can come up with the rule, but like maybe I would say minimum 2 or maybe even 3 Super Bowl appearances, and you go like the 1 seed being like start with like undefeated Super Bowl quarterbacks down to like like winless quarterbacks, like make the greatest one. So like for example, like Peyton.
Jim Kelly would be great for all-time losses, and Dan Marino too.
Well, Dan Marino, how many Super Bowls did Dan Marino lose?
1.
2. He's 0-2.
I thought it was 2, but it could be 1.
No,
So like that's what I'm saying. So like, but like you think about so like think of a I'm trying to think of a quarterback that's maybe been to the Super Bowl, that's won multiple Super Bowls, like is maybe undefeated in the Super Bowl.
Joe Montana.
Like besides Joe Montana, like there's got to be somebody that's won 2 Super Bowls.
Terry Bradshaw.
Yeah. All right. So like, Terry Bradshaw could be up against the 1-1 Aaron Rodgers, and then we have to then you can spin it in terms of we could do the ranking however, like best Super Bowl quarterback, or we could just do best overall quarterback. Because you think about Tom Brady has 7, but he's 7-3.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
I'm sure we could twist it into a way where it's interesting. You don't have to do it tonight, Mass.
I'm just putting that on my list of ideas.
Yeah, right next to
you guys see the thing with Brandon Jacobs?
I just heard that today.
What about
he wants
Brandon
to come back as a defensive end.
Is he really?
Yeah, he said, he can still run. He's strong. And he said, and Tebow's not a better athlete than him.
That's the best line from that.
Yeah, but on a more serious note, I would buy that jersey.
What, the Brandon Jacobs jersey or the Tebow jersey?
Tebow jersey. Just kidding. The Brandon Jacobs jersey.
I was looking at Tebow jerseys today.
Yes, we know, Mark. You said you almost already bought one.
Yeah, but Paul wasn't here when I said it.
That's true.
You bought one?
No, I was looking at him.
But he will buy one.
My thing, I just don't wear shirts for other teams.
Yeah, I actually I put it. I have a backpack that I've kind of been packing for that weekend retreat we're doing soon, of just various things that I want to bring. And in it I put my Pirates hat that I bought at the Pirates Stadium. I'm gonna give it to Jeff because I don't want it anymore.
You guys will appreciate this. So the other day, we get to our softball game. Kyle opens my trunk. He goes, "Oh, why is my hat in here?" I'm like, "Kyle, you're just a walking fucking dump truck. Your shit is everywhere."
So what's really funny about that is sometimes other people do it to him, and it's even funnier
because he gets mad.
Well, no. So the other day, I was leaving for work, and I just wanted something to drink that wasn't water. And so I went into his room, and he was laying in his bed all, lazy like. And I told him, I was like, "I'm taking a Mountain Dew," and he told me I had to take it off the log. So I took his hat and I put it in the fridge. And I said to him, and he goes, "Why'd you do that?" And I'm like, "Because it's going to be hilarious when you forget it in there and you find it 2 days from now." And you're like, "What the fuck?" And then, sure enough, later that day, he told me, he's like, "I've been looking for my hat at work all fucking day, and I just realized it's in my fridge."
And then he went home to not take out his hat from the fridge.
Well, no, then I did what any good friend would do.
You moved it.
Nope. I took it out, I soaked it in water, and then I put it back in the fridge.
There you go. Make it nice and cool.
That is the move.
Not when you put it in the freezer section, it's not.
Nothing brings me joy quite like Kyle's pain.
Funny guy. Mark, you had mentioned while Paul was coming back about Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah, Paul, you see Wayne Gretzky signing on with TNT.
Yeah, I saw that. It's funny, I had something I was going to look at on Reddit that I was going to bring up for sports that I saw. I opened up Reddit, and the first thing that I saw on Reddit was, "Do you wash your crotch before oral? Why or why not?"
Ah, you're on Ask Reddit, I see.
Any good comments?
No, I'm not on Ask Reddit. It was just the first thing that popped up.
Yeah, all right.
Kendall, yes, there are 11,000 comments.
None of them are good, though. I read them.
I'll read you the first one. "In the morning after my shower, I use powder on my balls. This stops my crotch from getting overly sweaty. I think that only works well for regular sex, though. For oral, though, my dick might get decently clean and not smelly. My ass is still pretty close to her face, though." So there you go. Welcome to the
Amazing
podcast,
what
boys.
people will share on the internet.
Yep.
Yeah, the internet is a great.
It's the greatest thing ever. Like seriously, if the internet ever got like permanently shut down, I'd start talking suicide pact with people.
Kind of dark, but all right.
Yeah, right.
Did
Nothing
Gretzky
worth
ever
living
have
for in the internetless world?
Did Gretzky have prior commentating experience, or no? Will this be his first run?
No.
Well, I don't think he's good. Is it a commentating role?
No, I mean, I guess
I think he's going to be in the booth.
It should be an analysis guy.
Yeah.
He'll be like a Tony Dungy.
Yeah, but not Tony Dungy.
So he gets to sit and talk on the part of the sports show that nobody watches.
But had he ever done that before? I'm just curious.
I think you're going to see people tune in to see him.
I don't know if he's ever done it before. I mean,
I don't think so.
He stepped down from operations as the Oilers guy. I think fucking God.
Why was he bad at that?
Well, I mean, the Oilers sucked, so yeah.
I don't know, certain guys sometimes it doesn't translate.
His daughter's pretty hot.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, I mean,
who?
His
Gretzky's daughter.
Yeah, she's alright. She doesn't have any teeth though.
And her name is Waynina.
Man, I can't find this fucking thing.
So we kind of
Kendall.
Yes.
Fucking say something, man.
Well, I was just gonna say we started in the very beginning of the show. We kind of mentioned briefly about Julio Jones, and I guess ESPN was saying that there was 4 likely teams that would be the winner in the Julio Jones sweepstakes, and I think it was New England, Tennessee, Green Bay.
I mean, I personally think it comes down. I don't think Green Bay's really in it, to be honest with you. I think that they just like. I don't think that they're going to. I mean, they've obviously made it very clear, front office and head coaching wise, from McCarthy through to this guy with and then the management and whatnot, that like, their first round pick. I mean, the Jordan Love thing is what it was, but they're generally their first round pick is to improve the overall team. So to take that pick that they value so much and that, you know, and to trade it for, and it's going to take more than a first round pick because the Packers without Julio Jones, assuming Aaron Rodgers plays, you're not getting a fucking top 20 pick from them. You know, you're going to be getting something closer to 30. So I don't think I don't know if it would really, I don't know if like a low or like a high 20s would be enough. You know, when you consider that, like, you know, maybe they could, like the Chargers, for example, it makes the Chargers better, but they still got to go through Kansas City. You know what I mean? Like the chances of them winning their division is still probably pretty slim, even with Julio.
Right. I think the Patriots trade would comprise of Jarrett Stidham and something else. And yeah, I just don't know if Atlanta is really looking in that direction for that's like the next guy up.
Hey, should we talk about how the Rams' odds just literally jumped up 10 minutes ago to be the second best to land Julio?
No,
they'll trade 3 first-rounders.
They don't want a 2029 first-round pick. When is
it's only next year that we don't have one.
That's what I'm saying. They'll trade their next 3.
I think what they're going to do is they'll just trade Matt Stafford.
Right.
That'd be hilarious.
All those jersey sales, forget it.
For Matt Ryan.
Did they come out and say, like, hey, this is what we want to do, or is this like some stiff on Twitter?
What do you mean?
Well, you just said that the odds went up for him, or is that a joke?
Oh, no, the odds actually went up. I just had it reposted by one of the Rams beat writers.
And did they shed any insight of what that would look like?
In terms of the trade compensation?
Right.
It doesn't say. I'm guessing it would have to be a future first and maybe a player.
It's one of those things too where because Julio coming out saying he's out, the Falcons lost all leverage.
Yeah.
I don't know if they lost all leverage because there will still be a bidding war for him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Well, and the thing too is, I don't think they really lost that much leverage because Julio didn't say anything about holding out.
Right.
I mean, maybe not in those direct words, but him coming out saying I'm out of there.
But I think that was like more so just like it's gonna happen. Like I'm not gonna be here. Like they're
Right.
like I'm gonna get traded. Like yeah, I mean like he demanded a trade, but I don't think Julio of all the elite receivers in the NFL is the last one that has a leg to stand on to hold out. The guy is every year slowly diminishing his value with the amount of injuries he gets and the lack of touchdowns he has.
I think it was weird how it unfolded on Undisputed.
Yeah, he's a fucking asshole.
Fuck you, Shannon, for listening.
No, but like Shannon Sharp's a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Who the fuck calls somebody like that on live TV and doesn't give him a heads up?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously Fox is thrilled because they got the first fucking go at it, but he should be fucking fired.
It's just like bad TV. It's like, hey, I'm just gonna jump on my cell phone real quick. Skip, talk amongst yourself while I call Julio Jones.
See, and that was something I mean we brought up the other day, like, with all the tampering, this and that. I mean, can there be like a repercussion for like what was said? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. To my knowledge, I can't think of any other situation that would have been like this before. Nothing comes to mind.
No, it doesn't. And you know what? If Julio wanted to and he was an asshole, he's not going to. He could press charges against Shannon Sharp because California is a two-party consent state.
That would be the ultimate, like, fucking reverse card play ever. You gonna do that? I'm gonna sue your ass.
It's just too bad Julio isn't the diva, so he won't. But
right, so this way he sues Fox, and then he kicks Shannon Sharp out of his job, so it's Undisputed with Julio and Skip. That's the real
you
angle
could
here.
pay me enough to be on the show with Skip Bayless. Fuck him.
Come on, don't you want to
that's Kendall's favorite sportscaster.
Yeah, he and I work out at 4:30 in the morning.
Ugh, fucking piece of shit he is.
Weird mirror selfies. Yeah, that show is like unwatchable. And Paul and I mentioned to each other a million times. For Shannon Sharp, if it's not football, I don't care your opinion on it. It does not matter.
Not in the slightest.
It's
ooh, man, some anabolic popcorn.
Thumbs up.
You guys ever seen the Mamba mentality memes? The funny ones?
I know what you're talking about, but I can't think of any of that.
So this is the anniversary. I think today or yesterday was the anniversary of the first one, which was the what was it? It was in 2007 or whatever. Like Kobe Bryant missed a jump shot due to a camera flashing in the crowd. So he spent 16 hours a day during the summer staring into the sunlight, so he'd never miss again. There's so many good ones. Like this one, one day Kobe Bryant was walking on the street when a dog suddenly barked at him. That summer he trained 16 hours a day and then challenged the dog to a one-on-one and beat him 21-0. Hashtag Mamba mentality.
They're just Chuck Norris jokes with Kobe, and it's hysterical.
Yeah, in 2006, Kobe Bryant slipped and lost his balance due to condensation on the court, causing him to do the unthinkable, passing the ball. So that summer, Kobe Bryant traveled to Jerusalem and read the Bible 17 times a day so he could walk on water. There's just so many good ones. It's so funny all the time. In 2007, Kobe Bryant missed a layup in a game because he shot it off the wrong foot and lost his balance. So that summer, Kobe traveled to South America to study the art of the flamingo and their one-legged balance.
I just love it's always like an extreme example. It's like, and then he.
Well, then like people went the opposite route. So in 2006, Kobe woke up one morning feeling very hungry, hungrier than he'd ever felt before. So that same morning, he made himself a bowl of cereal and ate it. #Mamba mentality. It's just so funny.
There are some very, very good ones.
Ugh, so funny.
I'm sorry, I'm perplexed by the contrasting colors I'm seeing on TV. It looks like the Lakers are playing a scrimmage game because the Suns are in purple on Lakers home court.
Well, the Lakers don't wear purple on their home court.
I know, but it's just the colors.
The Lakers are I think the Lakers are the only team. Are they the only team across all four sports to have their white jersey be their alternate? I think they might be. Are there any NFL teams that don't wear white? What NFL is what white on the road, color at home?
Yeah, so the Cowboys wear white at home.
Yeah, that's the only
right. But like a white is still a primary uniform.
Right.
Like the Ravens wear purple at home. Do they wear white on the road? Do the Ravens wear white on the road?
Yeah.
Usually.
Yeah, their alternate is black.
Right. Okay. So I'm trying to think. I can't think of any teams that in the NFL that are like that. Baseball, I don't think there's any either, right?
No. I mean, it's interesting because teams like
the Yankees, right?
Well, yeah, the Yankees
because they don't have white. Well, they have the pinstripe.
Right. I was gonna say they don't have like a dead. Well, it's confusing too because like the White Sox, they have a black uniform and then they have a pinstripe of their own, and then they have
the Red Sox.
No, the White Sox.
Oh yeah, but the white jersey is their home jersey. Because the Lakers the Lakers, I'm pretty sure it's yellow. It's yellow at home, purple on the road.
Yes, I do believe you're correct.
Yeah. I feel like NBA too.
The fucking Cardinals, they never wear white, do they?
They have a white jersey.
The St. Louis Cardinals, yeah, they got a white.
No. The Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, they wear white.
Have a white.
Black is their alternate.
I can't think of their white jersey.
It's got the red sleeves, red numbers.
I'm gonna have to look it up.
White jersey.
White jersey. They wear helmets when they're on the field.
They all do white face.
Hold on, giving a little bit of ASMR to this podcast.
Oh man, I called it anabolic popcorn.
Oh yeah. Well, there's like 10 pieces in there. What the hell?
I tell you what, it'd be really funny if, like, when he lifted up that bag, that all the popcorn was still stuck in it.
I love it.
Like you just like Matt just dumps out the bag and it's just all kernels.
I love that episode of The Office when Jim, Pam, and Andy are watching the movie, and Andy makes the popcorn and he dumps in the bowl. And it's like it's all his kernels and like 5 pop pieces.
What was the other scene? Oh, when Pam popped like 40 bags of popcorn and no one took one.
Weapons Varsity Blues.
Yeah, that was so funny. So funny. Oh, shit. So, is there anything else anybody wants to chat about?
Nah, I'm pretty good.
No, I mean this was kind of an interesting show. This was kind of just like a,
It's called experimental.
Right. So
listen, we're gonna all wake up tomorrow, and Kendall's gonna say, "Hey, there's no audio."
Any chance you guys could meet me in my kitchen at 10 p.m. tonight?
Right. In fact, when you sign off this, just get in your car right away. Let's just get this over with. I'll see you guys like at 12:30.
Oh, you know what? I did learn something pretty interesting about an interesting science thing today.
What's that?
All podcast and radio audio issues are a complete result of the dumbness of trains.
Wow.
I saw that there was a chart, just the direct correlation.
Yeah.
I'll have to read that article.
It was a scatter plot.
It was on Reddit. You'll never find it because you're too busy looking at other things there.
Listen, there's some good stuff on there.
Almost made a real mean joke. So, well, Kendall, do you want to give your beer review?
Yes, I will give my review here. The Highland Park, 12 years.
Scotch review.
Yeah, Viking Honor. Never had this before. I've seen this. I follow a couple booze type things on Instagram, and I've seen this bottle featured many times. But first time having it. This was from the Riddler collection, unopened, so I got to pop the seal. It was good. It had a little bit of smokiness to it, which is something I really enjoy in a Scotch. It did have some fruit notes to it. Nothing that I could really identify. Because I'm not too good at that type of stuff. But it was good. It was kind of like I like a Scotch that kind of has smokiness, but does have a sweet to it, and I think this definitely hit it on the head. So I'll give it a 3.9 out of 5.
Yeah. Mash, how's your popcorn?
It's good. I thought about one more thing I wanted to talk about.
All right.
I had a real good laugh with Paul. I'm sorry, it's going to be at your expense.
Usually is.
So, you guys remember a couple weeks ago when we were doing the Mox Rankings Best Sport Moments?
Yes.
Nope.
Wow.
We did the draft, yes.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
The three things I can remember Paul arguing the most about were LeBron James's dunk not being a real good play if it wasn't LeBron that did it.
No, that was the block on Andre Iguodala, and I stand by that sober.
He blocked Iguodala, right?
Yeah, but that block it wouldn't have been it wouldn't have been regarded as the greatest playoff block of all time if fucking Dwight Howard did it.
So there's that. There was the Odell catch not being the best catch.
It's not the best catch.
And then there was
the most athletic catch, probably.
And then there was the Kawhi Leonard game winner against the 76ers not being that entertaining because it didn't mean anything. The game was going to go to overtime.
No.
So the reason that I bring this up is because I was watching a sports highlight video today. I watched two of them.
Mock, that's an all-time great tweet.
What?
That's a worth out loud read before we wrap up.
Yeah.
Watching the sports highlights, I was watching LeBron James's all-time career highlights. His number one play was a block on Iguodala.
Look, it's a great play for anybody's highlight package. But my argument isn't that it wasn't a great play. My argument is that it wouldn't be as highlighted in NBA history if it was somebody else.
I agree. I just find it very funny that that's what they ranked as his all-time.
I'm pretty sure the example I gave was Tristan Thompson while severely intoxicated.
The Odell catch was number 2 on the top 100 sports plays of the decade. And then the Kawhi shot was number 1.
That's fine, man.
I just had to laugh at those three things.
Wait, the Kawhi buzzer beater was the number 1 sports play of the decade?
Uh-huh.
That's absurd.
And the Odell catch was number 2.
Look, the Odell catch was like physics defying. The only reason, and I'm not the only person to make this argument, the only reason I don't classify it as the greatest catch of all time is because of the gloves. Like, these gloves are so engineered, like insane talent. I'm not taking anything away from the acrobatics, the fighting through interference, all that type of jazz. But I refuse to believe that he is going to make that catch barehanded with no gloves. The way that he was all arched and everything. It was just like and honestly, I think the DeAndre Hopkins catch that didn't count was way better.
Middle of the field.
All right, wrap us up.
And the Kawhi Leonard shot was great, but if it was to win, if it was win or lose, it would have been like that much better.
Yes, I agree.
Plus,
game.
there was a lot of luck. And
True.
sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, but so you basically, Mass, what you're telling me is that like beyond belief intoxicated Paul has all the same arguments as sober Paul, and I'm proud of that statement. And I think that that's great. It makes me happy that I stand by my beliefs.
There
Yeah.
you have it.
A different person drunk. Good job.
Yeah. All right, so 2 quick things. I'll review the Black Hog after. You guys ever seen that Liberty Mutual commercial? It's on TV right now. I don't know why, but it makes me chuckle every time I see it, where the guy's dressed up as a cell phone and the jet ski splashes him and he jumps in the big bag of rice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Makes me chuckle. And then, Mark, do you want to share the tweet or do you want me to say it?
Which one?
The one that you sent in the chat.
Oh, the Reggie Bush thing?
That's an all-time great tweet. I love it when that pops into my feed.
It's so funny. So Reggie Bush tweets a thing out saying, I never understand how restaurants serve cold or lukewarm food when it's supposed to be hot, especially if food is your only source of income. And then when I told the waitress it was cold, she brought back a different plate that was still cold with a little shrugging emoji. And someone comments back saying, I once drafted a running back in fantasy football that got me -3 yards on the season. Some people just suck at what they do.
So funny. Was he the only player in NFL history to rush for negative yards in a season? Didn't he have that stat?
Let's see. There had to have been minimum of carries.
I was gonna say there has to be an amount of attempts because I'm sure there's running backs that get one touch. But I'm sure he had something like that.
It's interesting. I had the granola brown from our friends at Black Hog. It's always delicious. We've described it a bajillion times.
Such
It's
a
a
good
very
beer.
good beer.
I gotta get there. There's some beers that they have.
Orange
available.
creamsicle donut.
Yeah, I'm really in on that. I want to get that real bad.
They're gonna run out this weekend.
I gotta make that happen.
Captain.
Don't go to work tomorrow and go.
Yeah. Real quick before we tell them where they could find us, just give the PPRN rundown. Peter Pino Show, Wednesday nights 7:30 to 10:30. It's the Boo Show Thursday nights 8 o'clock. Joe Antonio Show every day at noon. Best Shit You Never Heard. Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10:30. Friday Night Delight. Fridays at 5. Hell Effing Yeah podcast every day at 3. Choreorama Sundays at 2. Dilemma Monday and Delay Mondays at 5. And this weekend is the PPRN All Access Live Concert Series featuring Biggie and Tupac, the first show, and then Snoop Dogg and Nas, the second show, and then it's right into Mixtape Saturday, which is extended into, because it's Memorial Day weekend, there's going to be longer mixes. I believe one of the DJs will be doing another set on Sunday, so action-packed weekend on PPRN. Be sure to tune in.
Yes.
Be sure to find us on Facebook at Getting Sports with Drunk. Twitter and Instagram is at GSWD_4.
Make sure to use the hashtag GSWD for all your daily uses, whether it's realizing trains are dumb or having audio issues.
Like, comment, subscribe on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Spotify.
So Reggie Bush was the first player in NFL history to have 10 or more carries for minus yards.
Terrible.
I just thought of a conspiracy theory.
Oh, God.
You guys think that LeBron James has a really bad hairline because of all the years of wearing the headband rubbing his hairline away?
It's not a conspiracy theory.
Science.
No,
Is that why he has that hair?
LeBron James is part of the Illuminati. He drinks adrenochrome to stay young.
Perfect.
Hashtag Seacrest out. Make sure to tune in Monday, hopefully. But until then, I'm your hostess, Cupcake the Riddler.
I'm Mark.
She Marshall.
Nope.
Mass.
Sometimes.
Mass.
And the Red of Red Baron.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.